Welcome back, everybody, to TB Sports 27 as we are continuing our Ultra Bowl festivities here on this PTO Monday as we just got done with the Red League Championship game. We now know the Ultra Bowl is set. Salt Lake City Fury back in the league championship for the first time in 8 years. First time in 5 years, rather. Third time in 8 seasons. They were in the first two RFL championship games as part of All Pro Football 2K8, and they have not been anywhere close the last 5 seasons, but they are back, and they're going up against the Sacramento Rumble, and we're going to go deep dive here. We're going to preview the big game. We're going to look at how these teams got here. We're going to look at stats. We'll look at depth charts. We'll look at big injuries, and then we'll get ready to stream the big game with you. Sacramento started way back on 2K5. If you guys remember, create a team on 2K5. They have the Spiders, the black, silver, orange. They were the Sacramento Spiders for a number of years, moving over into I think pretty much for the entire run, they were a team from the SFL days. Did not play for 5 seasons in the RFL. There was no Sacramento, but they made the return in the RXFL, the Sacramento Redwoods, for a year. Then they went through some ownership changes as a lot of teams did, and they rebranded as the Sacramento Rumble. Let's look at the numbers as we jump into it, as we have let's look at the bracket first. You can see where we stand, and there it is, the 2 seed and the 4 seed, both conference champions. We'll look at the conferences in a moment. For the Fury to get here, they had a dominating victory against the defending league champion Austin Armadillos. They hosted the Cinderella, albeit a division winner, but the Cinderella Vancouver Vipers. An amazing quarterback duel. Go back in the archives and watch the game. Bart Starr, Fran Tarkenton. It was Bart Starr with less than 30 seconds to go delivering a blow to Jeremy Shockey, which gave them the 7-point victory. And then the game we just streamed with you a couple of moments ago, taking down the number 1 seed, stripping, fumbling Joe Montana as he was trying to have another game-winning drive, much like he did against Toronto. This time it did not happen. It was a fumble, and Derrick Henry rode them all the way to the championship game. For the Rumble, the 4 seed, man, you can see the scores right there if you follow the Rumble all the way. They have barely been winning games. The first game, Tampa Bay Mutiny, they benched their 3-year starter Otto Graham, put in backup quarterback Justin Herbert, had to lead a 4th quarter comeback, tied the game up, went into overtime, and won the game in overtime, all right? Then they go into the next week, and it's the London Monarchs. Again, they're hosting. And they go back to Otto Graham. Otto Graham plays well. They go into overtime, they don't go into overtime. They stayed in regulation. London scores. They keep the offense on the field. John Elway and company, they try to go for a 2-point conversion. It is stopped by the Rumble. They move on to the conference championship. How about we have a 4th quarter comeback that was won in overtime? We have a 2-point conversion stop to win the game. Why don't we merge those two together? Otto Graham gets injured against the team that has been in the league championship the last 2 years, a team looking for a three-peat in the Blue League in the St. Louis Rhinos. Otto Graham takes a late hit. He gets hurt. Justin Herbert comes back in. They go into overtime. They score first. The Rhinos answer. The Rhinos go for a 2-point conversion, and it is a sack. Down goes Jim Kelly. 2 overtimes, 2 games where it was won on a 2-point conversion, and a 4th quarter comeback. And you can see the scores. A grand total of 5 points has gotten the Sacramento Rumble into the Ultra Bowl. They were in the conference championship 2 years ago. They did not make the playoffs last year. They are in the big dance at the end. It is a West Coast championship. Utah not quite rocking the left coast, but it's the time zone, right? The left side of the U.S. Salt Lake City and Sacramento going at it in the Ultra Bowl. It had been East Central for a while. We had Toronto, St. Louis, I guess London overseas, but we're representing the left side of the U.S. here. But Yeah, again, mutiny, the comeback, the overtime, the 2-point conversion stops against the Monarchs, and overtime and 2-point conversion stops. So when you look at the injury report, that's going to be the big story coming into this game, all right? And welcome to the folks that are jumping in. This is a preview. We're just getting ready to stream the Ultrabowl. This is the preview show for that. When you look at the Salt Lake City Fury, they're healthy. They're coming in completely 100%. We're going to look at the roster in a little bit. When you look at the Rumble, the big story here, now they're saying it's one more week, whether or not Otto Graham gets in or not. It sounds like it's going to be Justin Herbert. You also have Malik Harrison, who scheduled to play, may be able to get in there a little bit, and Javon Holland as well. Your big injuries on the Rumble side. But that's the big one, is Justin Herbert might be getting the bid, depending on injury here. We have some awards, I suppose, to look over. So why don't we look at some stuff here? We got Merlin Olsen named the Defensive Player of the Year. So you had Michael Vick win the league MVP a couple seasons ago for the Armadillos. Now Merlin Olsen winning Defensive Player of the Year. Jim Harbaugh named Coach of the Year, and what a job he did, where you talk about a team that has not been close to the playoffs for the last 5 seasons to get them. Steve Young, we already knew this one officially, took home the MVP award, but they were one and done. Reggie Wayne, quote-unquote Rookie of the Year, but obviously he's a legend. That's just how some of these players are. Paul Warfield, the Blue League Offensive Player of the Year for the Rumble. You got Lawrence Taylor winning the Blue League Defensive Player of the Year, and you got Don Maynard. So a couple of receivers winning Offensive Player of the Year, going to clash in the Ultrabowl. You have Bruce Smith winning some awards there, Mark Gastineau as well, and any other big moments there, Garrett Wilson, things of that sort. So there's kind of the big award getters there. 10-7 Sacramento, 13-4 Salt Lake City. We'll look at some, let's look at the standings real quick. We'll look at the stats, and then we'll get ready to jump into this game. So in the standings, on the Salt Lake City side, you take a look at the conference. Coming in as the 2 seed, as we mentioned, the 4 seed for the Rumble. They're all the way down here, but they were a conference champ, which puts them up higher. So the Rumble ranked pretty low. So when you look at the west side, it was a 1-game lead for the Fury over a team that's been pretty dominant in the Lumberjacks. That is how they got in. And then in the Blue League, it was, again, a 1-game lead that got the Rumble into the postseason over San Diego, Oakland, and San Francisco. So that's how we looked at there. And we will look at the stats now and kind of preview the Ultrabowl festivities as we look at it. I'll throw some of these up on Patreon as well. I think I have some. I took some screenshots of all the stats for the entire league. But let's go team by team here. Bart Starr, he's going to be coming in. These are just regular season stats, but 39 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, throwing for 4,300 yards. And we've mentioned Bart Starr. You go back to the struggles that he had. He joined the RFL as part of Tampa Bay, then in the RXFL was in San Antonio. Did not work out there. He was constantly getting benched for Steve McNair. If you go back and watch some of the games in the archives, Bart Starr struggled in San Antonio, and Steve McNair was getting a lot of the relief work there, and it led to him leaving and coming here to Salt Lake City, where they had been struggling with their quarterback, with Roger Staubach. And, well, it worked out for him. It's going to be interesting as we move to Madden 26 if he remains with the team or not. Derrick Henry, nearly 1,500 yards on the ground. Incredible. It's pretty much been all him because you got James Cook in there, but he only had 52 carries, did have a touchdown. Receiving-wise, we talked about Don Maynard winning an award, 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns for Don Maynard. Number 2 on the team, DJ Metcalf, 800 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, look at the domination of Don Maynard. You also have Harold Carmichael in there as well. Jeremy Shockey, who has had an amazing playoff run as well. And then on the defensive side of things, leading the way tackle-wise, you got Ernest Jones, 111 tackles. Your sacks man, 11 sacks for Leslie O'Neal. Byron Murphy gets 10 of them. Holy smokes. And then for interceptions, Anthony Barr with 4, Willie Brown with 2, Marshawn Lattimore with 2. And then kicking, you got Kaimi Fairbairn. So that's hard to say. I just watched him put up a bunch of field goals on my Arizona Cardinals yesterday. But Fairbairn, 21 of 22 for field goals and near perfect on extra points. He's missed 2 kicks all year. Pretty darn good. And now the wild card team, the team that has just been barely sneaking by, and the team that has got to be going with their backup quarterback. Otto Graham, the starter, and you see some numbers for Herbert, so Graham must have been injured part of the year as well, either that or some relief, or Herbert got in. We know that Justin Herbert came in relief, led the comeback against Tampa Bay, and then won in the conference championship. But Otto Graham, 32 touchdowns, 3,000 yards, but Justin Herbert, 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, not the best touchdown to interception ratio, but he has led his team to multiple playoff victories. He's going to be the guy coming up in the Ultrabowl. Now, it says 1 week, Otto Graham. Maybe he can come back healthy. We'll have to see. Saquon Barkley, nearly the same amount of numbers that Derrick Henry. So we got Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry coming up in the championship game. 1,200 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns for him. Paul Warfield, 1,600 yards, 20 touchdowns. Unreal. You got Randy Moss on this team, and he's got 1,000 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns. Paul Warfield, 500 more touchdowns and nearly double the amount, or 500 more yards, double the amount of touchdowns. You also got Calvin Ridley, Tony Gonzalez, a stacked team for sure. Defensively, 130 tackles for Fred Warner. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. 10 sacks for Mario Williams. Matthew Judon, you got 9.5 sacks, 9.5 sacks, 7.5 sacks. My goodness. And then interceptions. Charles Woodson, the great Charles Woodson, 5 interceptions. Fred Warner with 3 as you go down the list here. And then kicking, you have Gary Anderson, 20 of 27, and only missed 1 extra point. That is the Ultrabowl, guys. We are going to end this stream, and we're going to come back in just a couple of minutes, and we are going to kick off Ultrabowl 3 in our final game ever on Madden 25. Come on back for the Ultra.